Right now on Denver 7 News at 5 o'clock, borrowing money is about to get more expensive. The Fed could raise interest rates once again this week. Why it's making Denver one of the top cities for people packing up and moving out.
Another wildfire threatening Yosemite National Park. This is forcing thousands to evacuate as the Oak Fire grows to 15,000 acres.
The fire's been coming towards us faster and faster.
Firefighters working to control the flames with hot temperatures and little moisture.
And get ready, Broncos country. Training camp starts Wednesday. What you need to do if you want to see Russell Wilson and the rest of the new team in action. It's been all over the country lately with wife Sierra, but we know where he'll be.
Finally here.
Starting Wednesday,
Yes.
Locked and loaded with the team. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. I guess we'll be watching the forecast for Wednesday, Katie, because we've had a lot of rain recently.
We really have.
Yeah.
It's great for our moisture content here across the state, helping with fire danger for Colorado. But we'll introduce the chance through most of this week of seeing late day thunderstorms for the metro area and plains. This morning, though, we are seeing that line of heavy storms that impacted Colorado on Sunday, moving east over Kansas and Nebraska. We'll be under a partly cloudy sky, pretty pleasant conditions right now. A little more moisture out there, so slightly damp in Denver at 60 degrees, same in Fort Collins up through Sterling, and 40s and 50s to start the morning in the mountains. For lunch or dinner, if you're finding a patio somewhere to start the week, it's going to be pretty pleasant. By lunchtime, we'll be in the 70s, 80s to low 90s through dinner time, with just a slight chance for an isolated storm in town. Mainly dry conditions over northern Colorado, more cloud cover, and as you can see as we get into midday and early afternoon, chance for a few thunderstorms south of I-70 that'll gradually taper off tonight. Micah.
Well, Katie, keeping an eye on our roads this morning, and things are looking pretty good at 5 a.m. on this Monday. As you can see, map is mostly in the green. I do want to tell you about one spot if you're headed out to the airport. There is some scheduled construction happening at 40th Avenue and North Gun Club. A few lane closures in the area, but you should be able to navigate it pretty easily. I do want to show you our CDOT camera, which is closest to the area. As you can see, again, traffic flowing pretty smoothly. We're looking good there. Let's go to the map, check out your drive times. We've got westbound I-70 from Pena Boulevard to I-25 running in just 10 minutes. Eastbound running a little bit slower. So if you're headed to the airport, just keep that in mind. It's usually a busier route there, right? Westbound I-270 from I-70 to I-25, 6 minutes. Eastbound running you exactly the same.
Well, new this morning, Colorado's pricey housing market is now driving people away.
Yeah, and we could see another interest rate increase this week, which would raise mortgage rates more. So we're taking a 360 in-depth look at where the market stands this morning and what's being done about it. First, we'll walk you through what you need to know about the next Federal Reserve meeting. That two-day meeting starts tomorrow, and it's expected to end with another rate hike, most likely a 0.75% increase. That would be the same amount as the Fed's last rate hike, which was the largest since 1994. The Fed, of course, hoping that this move will slow record inflation, which is at 9.1% from the last report. That's more than 3 times higher than the Fed wants to see it. Over the weekend, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen downplayed the risk of a recession. She says the U.S. economy is slowing, but that healthy hiring is proof that we're not yet in a recession.
Consumer spending remains solid. It's continuing to grow. Industrial output has grown in 5 of the 6 most recent months. Credit quality remains very strong. Household balance sheets are generally in good shape, but inflation is way too high.
Well, the number of people applying for mortgages has now dropped, hitting the lowest point since 2000. And you can blame higher interest rates, which are now around 5.8%. Nationally, home sales fell for the 5th month in a row. The average monthly mortgage payment in the Denver metro is now $2,900. That does not include taxes and insurance on top of that. So it's no surprise people are leaving the Denver metro for more affordable places. Redfin ranks Denver 8th in the list of cities where homebuyers are moving out. And here's where they want to go, apparently. Miami tops the list. Florida, California, and Texas each have multiple cities in the places where people are moving to. Experts believe more Americans are just craving the warmer weather.
Yeah, well, of course, the weather would be a huge factor for people without any home at all. A lot of Colorado cities are trying to help with that. Boulder County is offering landlords a bonus of $2,500 if they offer space to homeless people. Fort Collins is asking people to take a survey on housing this week. It asks about creating a rental licensing program and expanding current occupancy limits for units. And Denver is considering a plan that would give people who are living in shelters $1,000 a month to help them find stable housing. One of the major reasons home prices are so high is that there just aren't enough houses. But if you've driven through Aurora lately, you may have noticed a lot of construction happening. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live this morning. Christian, we're talking about thousands of new units coming.
Yeah, and there are several commercial and residential projects in the works. Right now, we are just a couple blocks away from E470, and we can see some of that construction going on all in this area. Last year, the city of Aurora issued $1.9 billion in new construction permits, and at last check in May, just a couple months ago, they've already spent $624 million. City leaders say that this is a great place to live and work, so they're excited for all of these new projects.
Throughout the pandemic, we have seen very strong development activity across the city, and so that is both in new areas of the city where we haven't had development before. So a lot of that's out in the area south of the airport, between I-70 and the airport. We have a couple of large master plan communities going on out there. That includes Painted Prairie, which is the 1 square mile just south of the Gaylord out there.
And he just mentioned one of those projects, Painted Prairie, and here are the details from the city. So it's a planned community that will have 4,200 units. So far, 10% of those have been built. And there's also Aurora Highlands. 360 units are under construction. More than 12,000 more units are planned for that one. And High Point, 2,700 units planned for that one. So far, 700 are built. And that is just 3 out of 14 planned development projects that are a mixture of retail, commercial, and residential. Live this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Christian. We do have some breaking news from overnight. Inglewood police have shot and killed a 22-year-old man. Officers say he shot at them first. As we take a live look at the scene, this is on South Grove Street off West Bellwood Drive. Police are still very active in the area and have it roped off right now. They were responding to a disturbance call at a home there. No officers were hurt in the exchange, and the officers involved are on administrative leave during the investigation. We are also working to learn more today after Boulder County officials found a body on a trail yesterday morning. It was near the Realization Point trailhead on Flagstaff Mountain. Police have not confirmed the cause of death yet or identified the victim.
Well, it is a devastating scene in Yosemite National Park. Trees are on fire, helicopters dumping water from above, and thousands fleeing. These fires in California were fueled by high temperatures, and cities all over the country broke heat records this weekend. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
This morning, as extreme heat grips the east,
just trying to stay in the shade.
Wildfires sending residents fleeing in the west. Emergency crews in Yosemite National Park working day and night from the ground and in the air, trying to contain the more than 15,000-acre oak fire. Dead trees and scorching temps fueling the flames in the drought-ravaged state.
It really is a challenge because of the amount of heat that's in those fuels. It makes it challenging for our firefighters to fight these fires.
Thousands in Mariposa County have already evacuated, uncertain if their homes will be standing there when they return. Our Alex Brochet is there.
This is the new reality for so many residents that live here. Charred remains of a once normal life. Patio furniture, cups, toys, all destroyed.
Meanwhile, back on the East Coast, a sweltering heat wave. Scorching temperatures are expected to last all week in the New York tri-state area. Meteorologists say it could be the longest heat wave in nearly a decade.
Too hot. Too hot. Extremely too hot.
In Boston Sunday, temperatures hitting a record 100 degrees, surpassing a daily record set back in 1933. Officials in New York City cut the distance of its annual triathlon in half as a safety precaution. The city opening more than 500 cooling centers to help residents without air conditioning. And in Philadelphia, misting stations were set up outside the Phillies ballpark to help cool the masses. There are more deaths from heat every year in the U.S. than any other weather disaster, and now 90 million Americans from Texas to Maine are sweltering in dangerously hot weather, experts blaming the record-breaking heat on climate change. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
And as those fires ravage out west and the heat builds across the east, here in Colorado we had a nice cool down on Sunday with a lot of widespread moisture. Now flash flood watches have expired here across Colorado this morning, and we are in for some areas of early morning patchy fog, but it will be warmer and drier today in Denver. Highs will reach around 90 degrees. We do have more rain on the way this week. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
And your roadways are looking really good this morning. No real problem spots to speak of. I do want to let you know if you're headed out to the airport maybe early this morning, maybe picking someone up, that we do have some construction going on here at 40th Avenue and North Gun Club Road. We'll take a look at your drive times all around the metro coming up.
Well, the warm, rainy weather might be causing your driveway to crack in places, but don't trust anyone who wants to fix it. The salespeople the Better Business Bureau says to look out for.
And if you feel like you're spending too much time on social media, maybe we can all learn something from the younger generation, the college student behind a national movement to unplug.